Hi everybody, welcome back to 100% Mags. Sorry I haven't put the video out yesterday as I was busy of course, but I seen the news break and I was very upset and depressed at the whole ordeal, and I've had to try and get my head around what's been going on. I've been having a look all over the internet and that, trying to figure out what is going on with this takeover. Is it still alive and what's happening? And yes, the Saudis have pulled out of the deal, which isn't great, for us Newcastle United fans, because this is our only chance of really getting a takeover, and especially with the magnitude of this takeover, what it can do for the club moving forward. Obviously, they're going to have the money, to be able to take the club forward, as they are the richest company in the world, PIF, the Saudis as well are one of the richest families in the world as well. So they've obviously got the money, to do what they are saying that they can do, and after hearing what Amanda Staveley said with George Culkin, on The Athletic, she had an interview on there. I suggest you go check it out, really good interview. And she was talking about what the investment in that was going to be in the club, when they did take over. 250 million was going to be put into the community of Newcastle. There was also going to be 500 million put into the transfers as well. But looking at it now from yesterday, I was very depressed, very sad, and felt like I'd lost a loved one with the way that news had broken, especially on a day when 24 years previous to that, Newcastle United were on the headlines, but for very different reasons. And the fact that we had actually signed Alan Shearer for a world record fee of 15 million back in 1996, and then you take 24 years into the future, to now, and we're in the headlines again, but this time for a somewhat negative way, in the fact that the takeover looks like it was going to be fully and utterly destroyed right there and then. But of course, listening to what Amanda Staveley said in an interview on The Athletic, she said that she will not give up. She's not going to end it there, and just a little few snippets. Obviously, I suggest you go check out the full interview over on The Athletic, but just a few little snippets from The Athletic's interview in George Culkin's interview with Amanda Staveley. And basically, one of the little snippets was they were saying, Amanda Staveley says that the Premier League was saying, you know what, we won't reject you, but we won't approve you either, so we'll just sit here for month after month. They could have told us all this before we exchanged, which it's fully true. They could have told them this at the beginning. They could have told us Newcastle fans, at the beginning of the whole ordeal, instead of making we wait 4 months. We've been waiting since March for a decision on an O&D test, which is only supposed to take about 3 to 4 weeks, and it's been about 17 weeks, of waiting. That is a very long time for any fan base or any potential buyer to be waiting, to hear news. And then, of course, Amanda Staveley's husband as well was also doing the interview alongside that with George Culkin of The Athletic. And he says, even now, if the Premier League came and said to us, we will approve you, we would do this deal tomorrow, all three parties in the consortium, so they're 100% still ready and raring to buy Newcastle United. And of course, today there's been news come out of Newcastle in an official statement from Newcastle themselves, in Lee Charnley on behalf of Mike Ashley. Yes, you heard us right. Newcastle United's actually made a statement, actually spoke to the fans about what is going on at the club. Are we in an alternate reality here or what? But the statement came out, and of course, Lee Charnley speaking on behalf of Mike Ashley, and he came out and basically he said, we acknowledge yesterday's statement, never say never, but to be clear, Mike Ashley is 100% committed to this deal. still meaning this takeover. However, our current focus must now be on supporting Steve Bruce in the transfer market and on the preparation for the new season. Those are the first public utters from Newcastle, since the takeover. So we've got to be looking at this as a positive. This could be a small sliver of hope that this takeover could still go through. They are talking about restructuring the deal, and then more than likely coming back with it again, probably in January, I would think. With the way it's just been said, talking about preparations for the new season. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. But looking on it yesterday, it looked very negative. It looked like it was completely over for today. In the last 24 hours, it's been crazy for Newcastle United fans. And today we get the news that there could be a sliver of hope, that the takeover could still be alive. Hopefully that is the case, because I've been covering this takeover for a long time now. I've covered the previous takeovers as well, and it's about time that we do eventually get a takeover, because we've been waiting for it for so long, and it's unfair that Manchester City get to have their takeover. Nobody has a say on whether they can have theirs or not. Chelsea never got complained about for having their takeover. In PSG in France never got complained about for the Qataris taking over them. And looking at the people that have been involved on who's been trying to stop this takeover, you've had Liverpool and Spurs rumoured to be involved on stopping with takeover. If that's true or not, we'll have to wait and see, because they haven't actually commented on it or not, if it would be true. But at the end of the day, would they anyway? And then of course you've got the Qataris. Of course, they've been main culprit in trying to stop the Saudis taking over Newcastle United. But like I say, we'll have to wait and see what happens as the days go on. But hopefully, with a small sliver of hope, we can still get this takeover through the door and be able to be the great club once again, like we were back in the 90s under Kevin Keegan. So let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember, like, share, subscribe to 100% Mags, and I'll see you all next time. Farewell, lads.